Hello and welcome to this edition of Designing Spaces, the show that's all about you and your space, your home and surroundings. I'm Debbie Marie.
And I'm David Jones. Today's show is loaded with great ideas on improving house and property. And some of those ideas are centered on safety and health.
And we all want a safe home, so today we're going to hear from some experts giving us great advice, such as how not to spread germs within our household. And we're going to talk about the swine flu, so definitely want to stick around for that.
Very important. And are you a new landlord, or do you want to be a new landlord? Coming up, some great business advice on future rental property owners and managers.
And we have some surprises too, so stay right where you are. It's coming up right now on Designing Spaces. Electricity and safety, two words that should go together.
Well, today we're looking at that familiar circle and two familiar letters you may recognize on many well-known appliances. You know, the capital U and the capital L. What's the significance of that symbol?
Well, to tell us all about it, here's Ted Brunson just outside Chicago.
Have you ever noticed this symbol and wondered exactly what does UL mean? Or perhaps you knew it had something to do with safety, but how it is synonymous with safety might be a mystery. Welcome to Designing Spaces. I'm Ted Brunson, and today I'm in Northbrook, Illinois, just outside of Chicago at Underwriters Laboratories. Yes, that's what the UL stands for. Each year, 21 billion, that's billion with a B, stamps are put on your products. And this guy knows all about it. John Drangenberg, he's the Consumer Safety Director. John, thanks for having us, first of all.
Ted, it's my pleasure. Welcome to Underwriters Laboratories.
Great to be here. I can't wait to take a tour. But first of all, let's talk about that UL stamp and why it means so much.
Well, Underwriters Laboratories has been around for more than 115 years. We've been testing products for fire hazards, electrical shock hazards, mechanical hazards, all for public safety. Do you know that the average American home has more than 125 UL marks in it? And it's not only the appliances where you see the UL mark on the bottom of your toaster or the back of your television, it's the wiring in the walls, it's the shingles on your roof, all being tested for fire. So this is something that everybody should be aware of, that when they see a UL mark on a product, they know that representative samples have been tested to the rigorous standards of Underwriters Laboratories.
We've got a lot of ground to cover. We need to get out of this laboratory and cover this acreage, 100 acres just on this property right here. So we got a lot to take care of right now, right?
I'm happy to show you around. Let's start taking a walk.
Okay. John, how about a bicycle built for two? We get around this place a lot faster. 1,700 people alone just in this Northbrook, Illinois building. Right. It's ginormous. It's huge. I walked by a toilet seat. I don't even want to ask about that. But on any given day, what are we looking at in this place?
We test over 20,000 different types of products here. So on a given day, various tests are being done. We're looking at the securement of handles on coffee carafes right now. We're looking at overloading extension cords and even impact tests on enclosures. Every day, many different tests.
I'm not going to ask about the toilet seat, though.
Don't ask about that.
Okay.
Come on, but I've got a lot to show you.
Okay. Wearing the wrong shoes today.
Ted, many products are used outdoors. We have to assume that they're going to get into a rainstorm sometime. We have to test for it. So what we're doing here is turning water on a product like this lamppost and making sure that it doesn't get wet inside. Once it's done with the rain, we open it up, and if there's a drop of water on anything electrical, it fails the test.
I've never been accused of being a genius, but I do know this. Water and electricity do not mix. All right, John, now we're walking into the abnormal test lab. I take offense to that, my man. What's going on?
Well, we didn't want to tell you why we brought you in here, but the reality is we do a lot of testing here on appliances that might see some abnormal conditions.
Okay.
Take, for example, this hair dryer. Hair dryers are a very common product, but for this demonstration, we have actually taken out the thermostat and the thermal fuse.
Okay.
Now these...
You kind of need those.
Absolutely. The components are required by the UL standard in order to pass the test.
Right.
And that's, again, why you should always look for the UL mark when you buy a product. The fact is, without these, let's just see what happens.
Okay, so right over here, we've got a hairdryer that they've taken the same components out.
Take a look at it. You'll see smoke coming out of the barrel. You'll see the barrel starting to melt a little bit, and ultimately the flaming drip, as we call it, will hit the table.
That's kind of nasty and kind of scary, so I will remember, of course, as everyone should, look for that UL symbol on the next hairdryer that I buy for my wife, because you and I don't really need to worry about that.
It's not an issue with me either.
No.
Ted, in addition to all the safety testing we do a lot of research here at Underwriters Laboratories. And in this particular room, our research people are working on compact fluorescent light bulbs. People want to go green these days, so it's a very popular product.
I have them all over my house, and, you know, like you said, it is a very green thing to do. Plus, the life of them, a lot longer, saves some money, so everybody wants these.
You save a lot of money, but there are some differences with compact fluorescent light bulbs. One of the things that the packaging will very often say is, don't use with a dimmer. So we're doing some basic research using dimmers. You look up at the ceiling here, you see a lot of light bulbs up there, compact fluorescent, with cheesecloth around them. We want to see what fire issues might occur if you do use one with a dimmer.
Now, one thing I noticed is we look right here under the microscope. I mean, most light bulbs, the old school ones, have just a couple filaments. This, very intricate, very detailed, and you really need some smart dudes to figure this out.
There's a lot of electronics.
It's like a mini computer, it looks like.
It's like a little radio or something, but it doesn't do that. It turns on the light bulb. But you need a lot of little components in order to do that, so it's a much more complex light bulb than the old incandescents.
Yeah, we have to go. Well, I got to tell you, John, I'm a little tired. There was a lot of walking, but it was very fascinating. Thank you so much for your tour of UL. I had no idea that this much went into so many products. Thanks again. And I would also think that with all this going on with the UL logo that's stamped on everything, you have a lot of advice for family safety.
Of course, every home should have a working smoke alarm. It's one of the best life safety devices you can have for yourself and your family. Make sure you test it monthly and replace the battery every year. And make sure also that you know what to do when the alarm sounds. You need an escape plan. Every family should have an escape plan where every member knows 2 ways to get out of that room. Make sure that you practice that at least twice a year and know where to meet outside. Also, supervise children. If you have a pool, make sure that you know the 10-20 rule. The 10-20 rule basically says you should be scanning that pool every 10 seconds and be able to get to the pool within 20 seconds. Not inside fixing dinner, not somewhere else in the yard gardening, but be there to be able to help that child, because seconds count when a child is underwater. Of course, extension cords are used around the home. Make sure you never put them under a carpet or a rug. As you walk over those extension cords, you start damaging the insulation, and before you know it, heat builds up. You could have a very tragic fire. So be extremely careful where you route extension cords. Candles are very popular in the United States. Make sure that you know how to use candles. Put them in a sturdy candle holder, but most importantly, never leave a room with a lit candle. It may sound very trivial, but the fact is, every fire statistic we see, people say, I just left the room for a minute. When I got back, it was ablaze. So make sure that you blow that candle out anytime you leave a room. And finally, the UL mark is something you should look for on any product you buy. It's your assurance that representative samples of that product have been tested to the rigorous requirements of Underwriters Laboratories.
Thank you so much for the tour.
Ted, it's my pleasure. You're most welcome, and stay safe.
I will, if we just look for that UL mark on all the products. Thanks for watching Designing Spaces from Northbrook, Illinois. I'm Ted Brunson. We'll see you next time.
Today's show just flew by. We're out of time already.
Already?
I know.
Well, we are Designing Spaces. Thanks for watching. I'm David Jones.
And I'm Debbie Marie. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You can visit these websites to learn more about the participants on this edition of Designing Spaces.